Jey Uso and Charlotte Flair are your 2025 men's and women's Royal Rumble winners, respectively. Now that the dust has settled, it's safe to say that both wins received a massive mixed response from the WWE Universe. Jey Uso is quite possibly the most popular male superstar in WWE today. He is certainly receiving a lot of hate from many fans after his Royal Rumble win, but the majority love the fact that he is going to headline WrestleMania. And then there's Charlotte Flair, the Queen, on the verge of breaking the record of Ric Flair of 16 world titles. And now she has won the Royal Rumble once again and is going to face, quite possibly or most certainly, Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania 41 for the WWE Women's Championship. On this week's edition of WWE RAW, Charlotte Flair cut a promo, and strangely, she was acting as a babyface. After seeing her return vignettes in which she was flaunting her wealth, seeing her cut this babyface promo was quite strange. As expected, the capacity crowd started booing Charlotte Flair, and she was visibly frustrated over getting booed by the fans in attendance. I, for one, was dumbstruck. The audacity of WWE and Charlotte Flair to bring her back and give her immediately a millionth win, a big win, a Royal Rumble win, and talk about how hard the past year was for her, while the other female superstars busted their ass for the entire year, and then expect the fans to cheer her. What the hell was WWE, Triple H, and Charlotte Flair thinking? Fortunately and thankfully, the WWE Universe made it clear to Charlotte Flair that they are tired, they are sick and tired of this shtick. She gets injured, comes back after some time, immediately is thrusted to the main event scene, and then defeats the champion to win another women's championship. Rinse and repeat. The boos that Charlotte Flair received on WWE RAW this week were well deserved. These weren't the boos that a heel gets. This was clearly go away heat. The fans in attendance were letting the Queen, Charlotte Flair, know that there are several other talented women on the main roster who have been working incredibly hard for the past 1 year or so during her absence from WWE TV, and they deserved to win the Women's Royal Rumble more than her. Unfortunately, Charlotte Flair has cashed in her Charlotte in the Bank contract once again, and she will face Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship at the Show of Shows. And I definitely won't be surprised if she ends up defeating Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania to win another championship. Because remember, WWE is trying its very best to make sure Charlotte Flair soon reaches Ric Flair's record and ends up breaking it. In the pursuit of this record, Charlotte Flair has been given incredibly bad and incredibly short title reigns. I am sick and tired of this woman hogging the spotlight. She is definitely a great wrestler, but the fact that WWE just keeps on pushing her again and again, just the way Roman Reigns was being pushed back in the day, it just doesn't feel right with me when there are many other more talented female stars on the WWE roster at this very moment. So now, let's check out some of the reactions that the WWE Universe left on X, Twitter, after Charlotte Flair was heavily booed by the fans in attendance on WWE RAW. She got hurt in a dark match, and at the time, a large majority of fans didn't like her. Fans don't like wrestlers who have been favored because of their last name or because management likes them. Fans are just tired of her. I am not even a WWE watcher, but even I would be booing if I was. The whole thing stinks of nepotism. She's really only in this position because her father was a famous professional wrestler. She hasn't had to work for anything really. God handed the Rumble. I am with them. I don't feel bad for her at all. It's been obvious for years she doesn't respect the other women on the roster. The last time any of her opponents looked good is when Rhea actually skinned her up at WrestleMania. Prior to that, the closest thing was the Nia thing. Remember that time she kept trying to drag a clearly injured Kairi Sane up by her hair after Sane suffered a head injury? She is boring. In all fairness, she is not the most pleasant to listen to. Nothing comes off smooth or as believable. I was over her in 2018. Way more interesting talent today, but people know she's gonna bulldoze Rhea and or Tiffany Stratton because she can always threaten to go to all elite wrestling. Personally, I didn't miss her. They're booing her immediately coming back and winning the Rumble. I think they could have someone from SmackDown win and found a way to get Charlotte versus Rhea at WrestleMania. A lot of fans are tired of seeing her just get pushed to the top the moment she is back. This is what happens when the fans see 25 plus hard workers get cut in line by someone who's been gone over a year. Comes back and goes straight to WrestleMania, that's why. Remember when people did the same thing to The Rock when they thought he was coming to take Cody Rhodes' shot at WrestleMania 40? They booed so hard that they had to change the whole storyline. If she actually went through the ranks instead of automatically getting an opportunity is why we are so tired. Her gimmick is literally just being a champion and it's overshadowed. I don't know why people get mad at the talent, it has nothing to do with her. Blame the boss and blame the people booking the match. I was fine with it maybe cause I am a fan, but it's completely disrespectful what the fans are doing right now. Completely disrespectful. She is just not likable. It is what it is. They are booing her because it's the same old Charlotte Flair nonsense as per usual. Everyone is tired of the woo, I am a Flair, I am the greatest wrestler to ever live, hand me as many titles as possible, and so on. The Flair act is just tired and the people can see straight through it. This will happen when you are as interesting on the mic as watching paint dry. Yup, my issue with her is that she's always gone a year and comes back with the title match immediately, where she wins just to inflate her world title record when there's plenty of talent that is far more deserving. If she wasn't a Flair, she wouldn't have had the opportunities. Another free ride to WrestleMania that nobody wanted. Wonder why they are booing her. The first ever pay-per-view part really got me. I always thought the same. She was in everything you could think of. They built her legacy around numbers, so in the future we can look back and say, wow, a number of times champion. But what about the present? Many superstars were misused in the process. Charlotte Flair and Roman Reigns were in the same spot, overpushed and very much not wanted. Roman has rehabbed that extremely well but took a lot of work. Whereas with Charlotte Flair, she has done nothing and expect fans to just accept her in an unearned position. My issue with Charlotte was always the formula with her booking as well as the fact that she is never truly evolved as a character. While Bayley ditched the hugger persona and became a teenage angst-filled heel and grew up from that as well, Charlotte Flair's always remained the same. Anybody with a brain or been watching since 2016 will tell you this. Charlotte Flair is a phenomenal athlete, but at the end of the day, she is way too overpushed for me to care for her character. When she was giving that speech last night, it felt very similar to the promo Britt Baker cut when she came back to feud with Mercedes Moné last year. I still don't know who Charlotte Flair is without the title. She always has it and only had a one-off with Trish from what I remember. Her character has zero evolution and everything is always Charlotte going over from Sasha in 2016, Asuka at Mania 34, Becky at SummerSlam 2018, etc. The crazy thing is my biggest gripe with all this is having her beat Asuka at WrestleMania 34. Asuka should have been made champion that night, but WWE had to make Charlotte be the one to end her streak. They have misjudged, misunderstood and miscalculated nearly everything possible in Charlotte's entire WWE career. As soon as they started padding her stats within her first main roster year against Sasha to get her to have close to her dad's accolades, people didn't want to cheer her. Despite what the stands would have you think, most people aren't actually that stupid and can see when you are doing shit to artificially inflate someone's stock.